Hi Capricorns, and welcome to your August 2022 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on today, moving pretty quickly. We've got a lot to get through. I will be delivering you an intuitive tarot reading with intuitive messages, a week-to-week tarot forecast, and an extended reading on Patreon. Let's dive straight into it. Okay, Capricorn, so the energy is fast moving for you this month. Like, I feel like it's kind of like one hoop after the next. Okay, you're doing like one thing after the next. It's a really fast moving context. People feel differently every day. People might even be prying. People might be asking you questions. There could be kind of like a recognition during this month of August and even late July of who people really are in your life and how much they want to know your business. I feel that people could kind of like ask you questions that like aren't their business. Be careful of oversharing during this time. Be careful of like not thinking too much before you speak, or just inviting people to take advantage of you or anything. There can be a little bit of an issue there that prompts a huge transformation. So for those of you who have a lot of Capricorn in your chart, this retrograde Pluto, very late in your sign, is really maybe pushing you to empower yourself in a much stronger way. So as somebody maybe asks you an inappropriate question, as somebody like pries into your life, or as somebody even has a kind of like menacing attitude towards you, it leads you to not waste any more time, or to not just kind of idly pass the time. So it feels that like anything negative coming into your experience this month, Capricorn, it pushes you to do what you've been needing to do for a long time. It starts to get you a much more secure infrastructure going by your own effort, and it starts to stabilize you a lot. This Pluto retrograde is really asking Capricorns a question about like, how secure is what you've created? Like, it might be powerful, it might be strong, it might be wealthy, it might be prominent, but how secure is it? How secure also, or how does the security of it, or how does the nature of it change your relationships too? People are really going to be showing their true colors in August. Also, Capricorns, there's a big change coming through for you. The Wheel of Fortune and the Six of Swords coming up leads you to probably be changing your life. Okay, so you might have a big material change. You might also be thinking very differently about how you want to move forward from here. There's a need to really know yourself here, Capricorn, and to know where you want to go from here, and to not hesitate, when people are curious about what you want, and to not also hesitate to yourself. So there could be this kind of hesitant idling phase that I feel that was really good for you once upon a time. Like a few years ago, it might have been really nice to like not know the answer, or to not know how you want to move forward, or to not know who you were or what your identity was. That time is not now, okay? It used to be securing to not have it really set straight, and to have that freedom to kind of, learn and decide who we want to be, what we want to do, so on and so forth. But here during this time, we owe it to ourselves to understand our history, to understand where we've come from, to understand what we've been putting the bulk of our energy into, and to really understand how to talk about that and how to relay that. Because this kind of like hesitation, or this kind of like play it by ear, ride by the seat of our pants type of situation, it is not favorable now, because it can seem like a vulnerability, and it can seem like you don't really know your purpose, or you kind of seem like hapless or out of function within a certain situation, which might lead people to like even try to take from you. Okay, or it could lead people to just spin things about you, or kind of like weave narratives, or weave from nothing certain stories. It's kind of like one of those situations where you don't like express who you are, or you don't like really make it clear what your boundaries are, so people start to make them for you, or people start to fill in the gaps that you yourself have generated. So that's something that I really want to draw your attention to this month, Capricorn. Where are the gaps? Okay, where are the blurry lines? Where is there a narrative between the lines? Okay, it could be like rampant. And I think for everybody it is. We have Jupiter preparing to go back into Pisces. It is part of this Pluto return as well. Power that emerges around the unspoken, or power that emerges around like void. Okay, so this is not just a you thing, but because Pluto is in your sign, it really focuses on you. And you have to maybe even look at like your family members, or your children, or your parents, and like how have you, or how have they, either way, created or enforced a certain ambiguity or gap within a certain issue. Because sometimes there's power in that. That can be like Sphinx energy, like maybe not to know the answer is best or not to be particular is best and kind of leave people guessing. But I don't really feel like that's the way it is now. You almost need like a new identity focus, I feel, by this reading. And you also need to kind of lighten up with things as well. A lot of the cards in this reading are lighthearted. So you have the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, Three of Cups, Queen of Pentacles. A big majority of more lighthearted, trusting energy. So you don't have to think that hard about it. You don't have to think that hard about like, who am I? What am I doing? Why am I in this situation? Like it's already pretty much there, and you're totally justified in it, I think, for the most part, because it's like the actions speak for themselves, or the creations speak for themselves, and you don't have to try that hard. So any type of like curiosity or unresolved issue, I think, is more of a indulgence in the unresolved, or an indulgence in this kind of ambiguous power line, which is not so powerful now. So another intuitive message that I'm just feeling randomly for you, Capricorn, is try to have more fun as well. A lot of this is from like a life that might not be concentrated enough on fun and happiness. So these types of issues that come up, if you are facing any kind of like, I don't know, toxic bonds with other people, it really, I think, should be faced with happiness and positivity, and try to not sink to the level of anybody who might be, I don't know, out of line or out of sorts with you. Let's talk about your week-to-week, Capricorn, in August. So in the first week, you have the Wheel of Fortune rooted down by the Queen of Pentacles. You are changing or shifting your life, or the universe is, to more of a elevated feminine earth energy. So there's this kind of like trust in the natural, or this trust in what already is, or this trust in the current choices, without the need to really interfere, or without the need to change or manipulate or authorize anything, okay? Because I feel that maybe you have something way bigger to be an author over. Okay, so there's something about authorship. There's something about authority changing here for you. And I think that it might be the way that you exert authority, or it might be the way that you claim power over your own experience. You might be delegating that. You might be letting, per se, like God make these choices. So like maybe not thinking that you have to be the one who figures all this out, or that you have to be the one to set things straight. Maybe this is like in God's hands, and kind of that kind of, albeit cliche, like let go, let God mindset might really be the best for a lot of these situations. Also, the Wheel of Fortune is indeed reversed, so that can mean that you don't like get your way, or that you don't necessarily get it, or this change isn't exactly what you wanted, but it's gonna be for the best because it's elevating you into this Queen of Pentacles mode, one way or another. So it's like, try to not get too offset by like small details that don't seem to be like the way you would do it, or the way that you would choose. Because I don't think it matters, okay? I think that most of this is like out of our hands, or out of your hands, or out of anybody's hands. It's like a bigger momentum, like what is happening here. And you don't want to stand in the way of that. So that's something I've been seeing for a lot of Capricorn people. In my own life, I'm surrounded by Capricorns. And I work a lot with a lot of Capricorn people. And I'm seeing them kind of like with this Pluto being in their sign. They're so powerful, they're so capable. They're so, they're kind of like a gatekeeper for a lot of different things. And I see some of them maybe kind of standing in the way of a bigger force and thinking that they can, okay? And that is setting up for some type of major chaos, or some type of major disaster. So we need to know, like, I probably don't need to like go out into the lightning storm and like stand up on the metal gate and like command that the lightning go away. I need to wait for that to pass. So we want to make sure that we are acknowledging the actual level of power that we do have over a situation, and not getting illusions of capability or illusions of power over something majorly. Okay, there's a huge, I think, craving, insatiable craving, not just from Capricorns, and this could be happening like around you, of people like craving information, people wanting to know things that maybe aren't their business. And you as a Capricorn, I don't think have to go to any huge lengths or any crazy, power evoking lengths in order to, I don't know, prove anything or justify yourself or communicate something to someone. Kind of let it lay where it falls. Okay, that would be my suggestion in the first week. Week 2, King of Swords rooted down by the Ten of Cups. That's really nice. Okay. I think you're getting more authority. Like the first 2 weeks of the month both kind of show you rising into this like king and queen energy. But this is more communicative here in the second week, and you might have something to like bring relating to peace with your family. So bringing peace to your family, bringing peace to your nuclear family, to your household is a big part, and that might come in a pretty neutral way. So do be careful about like overwhelming opinions or things that are like really on one side or one extreme or the other. I feel that King of Swords is a symbol of neutrality, and it's a symbol of acceptance. So you might think of that type of path forward rather than a very extreme imposition, okay? I feel that like the imposing of a more neutral stance or the imposing of a more ambiguous stance could be really helpful for you now. Okay, and week 3, you have the Knight of Swords reversed, rooted down by 3 of Cups. So in the third week of August, you have a kind of a question of values and a question of consensus too. So the way that you're relaying yourself to other people, the way that you're like moving and how other people are, I don't know, in favor of that. It's kind of very popular energy there. So you might be gaining popularity, but there's also a signal to slow down or a signal to not take things too fast. So allow things to move with their own momentum if you can. Week 4, okay, this is interesting. The 6 of Swords rooted down by the Ace of Pentacles. So a major transition brings windfall, okay? Everything's changing, all right? And it kind of is for everybody. I've been talking about this over these last few weeks during the live premieres and during the other content. It's like things are not going to be the same, okay, after this period of time. Things are not going to probably go back to the way they were ever, okay? There's a big change point here, and there is again subsequently in January of 2023, and this is a kind of a vulnerable window for a lot of people between now and then. But I think that you are setting sail, Capricorns. I think that you are starting to move, and you might have like a lot of resources that you're moving with, or you might be given a lot of resources from the universe or just from good choices that you've made, and resolve and stick with itness as you take the next journey. Try to think about how the next journey can be more stable or more materially well for you, okay? Without some of these major questions or without some of these major like flummoxing disputes or conflicts, okay? The Queen of Pentacles is really a nice energy, I think, for you right now. It's like, how can it be easy? How can it at least be reinforcing for you and healthy? Enjoy, Capricorns, in the 4th week, the reward that you get or the abundance that comes in as you cross these thresholds and move into new territories. So anyway, Capricorns, I will talk about that in your extended reading on Patreon, which will be linked below and in the center of your screen. Let's talk about crossing the threshold and what this archetype of transition means for you. I'll get a central theme, 2 supporting themes, and a significator card to delve more into this energy. The Patreon page is awesome. I do weekly forecasts and all kinds of premium content over there, and it's very reasonable. So come check it out. Much love, Capricorns. Let's do this extended. Bye.